All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the July 2026 edition of Thrive with Babs. Welcome to this program. This is also a monthly event that we host, and it's an opportunity, a forum where I get to share some of my learnings, some of my gleanings, some of my takeaways from life, from Bible studies, from observing people, observing myself, observing the world around me, and taking lessons, life lessons from all these events and proceedings, and distilling them um, into an easy to digest. Sorry, I need to stop my screen at some point so that I can be able to. Please, those of you who are co-hosts, let's help to admit people as they are joining in. Once you hear, okay, just admit them as they join in this session. Okay, I think at that side you should be able to know how to. I think you already did uh, a session on how to admit people on Zoom. How to, so I believe I have three co-hosts now, so we shouldn't have any problem admitting people into the meeting. So I can focus on the slide. Okay, just as I was saying, Private Babs is a session where I get to share my lessons on life, what I'm learning from living, what I'm learning from observing, what I'm learning from suffering personally, what I'm learning from thriving, from succeeding as an individual, and I get to share that with members of my community, members of the TRW Consult community, others interns, as staffers, as friends, family members as well, so that we can all learn together, so that we can all grow together, so that we can all thrive together. And that's why it's titled Thrive with Babs. So, thrive is, I mean, you know what thrive means. That tree behind me, you can see it's thriving. It's on a sandy soil, yet it's thriving. And that is what the idea of thriving, no matter the tribulations, no matter what life throws at you, so that we can be able to thrive. And we can thrive when we master fundamental principles of life, when we know the intricacies of living, the intricacies of success, the intricacies of being a person or attaining a personhood. That's where we can be talking of thriving. Thriving is different from succeeding. Success can be ephemeral, short-lived. But when you thrive, it means that you bear fruit downward, so that it should bear root downward, so that it can bear fruit upward. Thrive is different from success in the sense that for you to be able to thrive, you must have been able to withstand adversity. You must be able to withstand all the vicissitudes of life that, as they are thrown at you. You invest in learning, you invest in growing, and then so that you can now thrive upward and you can bear considerable fruits in your areas of endeavor. So, the topic we are looking at today is titled Becoming the Best Version of Yourself. Becoming the best version of yourself. And this is chapter 55 of Thrive. This is chapter 55. That means we've had 54 previous editions of Thrive. And now we are on 55th chapter. And this is the topic we are looking at today. And I'm very glad to be able to welcome you. It's usually very short, under 30, 45 minutes, we are done. And then the point is that you just share these rub minds and let's go to apply them so that we can all thrive together. So the topic is becoming the best version of yourself. And as I said, this is the 55th edition. That means we've done certain topics over the years. We started, I think, in year 2016. Wow, how many I'm be 10 years old this year. We're already 10 years. Started 2016, and this is 2026, right? So we started with self-identity and definitions. We did 4 sessions on purpose. Then we look at the three-step leap, how to get to where you ought to be. Missing link, these are the topics we've taken, where we've taught or discussed at Thrive with Babs over the years across the months that we've been holding it. You can see them here. I think this is like a two-page series, and some of them or most of them are actually available on YouTube. So I will share the link with us at some point so that we can all go there if you want to, whatever topic you want to listen to, so that you can listen to them and be blessed by them, learn from them. If you have any comments, any disagreement, please feel free to reach out to me about it so that we can discuss it together. And then, because we is a sharing session, I'm not an expert. Also, just like a stakeholders, like all of us in this journey of life, I'm also a participant, a co-learner, a co-participant in the journey of life. And as I learn, I share, and I also learn from others as well as they share. I'm always a stickler for acquisition of knowledge, acquisition of information, developing the mind, because to the extent that your mind is developed is the extent that you can say you're a developed or evolved human being. Most people focus on money, but money is very, very minute in the game of life, because Jim Rohn, which one of my mentors, says that what you have learned through self-development, you never lose it. But if you have money so much and you have low level of self-development, you will lose all those money because your level of thinking, of operating, has not matched your level of self-development. So we always have to balance that dynamics of being developed, being evolved as an individual. So these are the topics we've taken over the months on Thrive. And just like I always also begin, we use Bible at times to as our reference when we are discussing Thrive. Why? Because the Bible is, I take it not as a religious book, but as a literature. And thankfully, I have my first degree in English literature. So I'm able to take any work as a work of literature. So when we use Bible in Thrive with Babs, we use it as a work of literature, not as a religious book to preach at anybody, but looking, extracting lessons from the life of people, from how people live their lives, what happened after that. That's basically what we do. How do we able to achieve success? How do we able to fail? And what are the intricacies from that experience? So, and why would we use it? Because it's enduring. It's one of the oldest books around. Bible is one of the oldest books around, and that is an attestation to its endurability. And when something has lasted for so long, that means it becomes an authority. It's a creed that we can all learn by, that we can all be blessed by, that we can all grow by. And the lessons they are usually universally applicable. Some things have happened in the Old Testament, even in the times of Adam and Eve. We still talk about deception today. We still talk about betrayal today. We still talk about murder today, jealousy. Those are things that we read in the Bible. Those lessons are still applicable to us today. And so that's one of the reasons we also use that. And because we can all relate to some of the scenarios that have happened there in terms of where we are in our lives, where we are going, and where we ought to be. So that is that about the reference justification. And just to recap the last session we had, uh, I think the last session we had was actually in February. Yes, it was in February. We usually hold it last Sunday of the month, but after that session, because we did like how many sessions on destiny. After that session, I had to do a book. I set out to do a book on destiny. And I'm glad that the book has finally been published. So, but the interesting thing was that after that session, after that the last session, instead of even doing one book, I ended up doing two books on destiny. And even myself, when I read them, I am awed at some of the things, some of the lessons, in those books, looking at the journey of destiny. All of us will talk about destiny, and destiny is one of the very esoteric or inscrutable concepts out there. I mean, they are not something that we easily understand, really. But I was able to, based on what we've, discussed at Thrive, I was able to document some of these things in a way that people, all of us, can easily relate to. Oh, this is the stage of destiny where I am in my life now. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do so I can fulfill destiny. All of us will say we want to fulfill destiny, but sadly, it's not everybody that will fulfill destiny. And it's to the extent that you're able to master fundamentals, know some of those intricacies of life that make for fulfilling destiny or botching destinies. I will encourage all of us who are willing to know more to contact Happiness about we can get those books so that we can know more about destiny. And just talking about the last session we had, it was titled How to Manage Success. And we're looking at the story of the Israelites who set out from the land of Egypt to Canaan. They got there, but they also lost the land of promise, so called land of promise, after a while. And we looked at what are the things you need to know to help you get to the promised land of your life. Now we use the Israelite journey as a metaphor for all of us. All of us, we are always on a journey to somewhere, journey to success, journey to greatness, journey to fulfillment. So we use the Israelites journey as a metaphor of a sort, that all of us who are aspiring success, aspiring fulfillment, aspiring greatness, aspiring peace of mind, how do we go about that? What are the lessons from these people? And then we look at why did they lose that after suffering so much for several years? They got there and they still lost it. Why did they lose it? We considered those factors, and then in our own case, what could they have done better? What could they have done differently that would have helped them to retain the success they had? So we discussed how to manage and retain success. The thing is that it's not just to attain success, it's also to retain success. The retainer is usually more difficult than the achieving of it. As I always say, that it's easier to get, it is not easier to keep what you get. So we looked at how to manage and retain success so that it can become a sustainable one. And then we'll explore some final thoughts. What are some of the things that experts or people, philosophers, people who also know life on a deeper or better level have said about managing success? The good news is that the video recording of that session is available on YouTube. You can always go there and watch the edition so that you can learn from it. So today, our pause and ponder is because we are looking at becoming the best version of yourself. And our pause and ponder for today is a quote by an unknown author that says, good, better, best. We know when we're talking about our superlatives, never let it rest. Never let good rest. And when you don't let good rest, it becomes better. When you are better, never let better rest. And when your better becomes best, never let the best also rest. Until your good is better and your better is your best. Never let it rest. Don't rest on your hours until your good becomes better. And even at when you are at the stage of better, always continue to work on yourself, improve yourself, do what you're supposed to do until your better becomes your best. Unfortunately, the author, the person who said that, is not known, but it's one thought I want us to keep at the back of our mind today as we discuss becoming the best version of yourself. So let's now start the session proper and starting with the keywords. The keywords in this topic is best version, yourself, and becoming. Those are the keywords in the topic. Best version, yourself, and becoming it. That means, because we say become the best version of yourself, that means you are the yardstick, you are the metric, you are the measurement here, not somebody else. You are the yardstick that you are becoming better of. You are becoming best of. You're not somebody else. So you can only use somebody else as a measurement if their path or their identity is similar to yours. And they are actually at their best, because the point is that most of us, or some of us, we get derailed by petty comparison. We start to compare our lives with somebody, our neighbor, our friends, our siblings, our, just to mention, our classmates, whereas the journey of our lives are not the same. You cannot compare yourself to somebody whose life, whose path is not the same as yours. That is an exercise in futility. In terms of achieving, in terms of becoming the best, you have to benchmark yourself against yourself, not against somebody else. When you start to think about others, you start to compare yourself with others, you lose focus, you lose energy, you become depressed. Why? Because you are using somebody else's wristwatch or time to measure your life. It's never the same. It's never ever the same. When you do that, you are just setting up yourself for frustration, for depression. Because all of us may be humans, may be breathing the same air, may even have the same face, the same contour, the same family, the same surname. Our race, our path are not always the same. So you cannot use somebody else as your measurement, except the person's path is the same as yours, or this person's identity is the same as yours. And then the person is in the best, they are enjoying their best life or their best season. So, in terms of now having settled that, we should start, we want to become the best version of yourself. You should start from where you are. Start with where you are. Start from who you are. Think about what the best of you can be. In terms of when you are measuring how what as I am now, what will the best version of myself be? That's the question we'll be asking ourselves. As I am now, what are you at the moment? Ask yourself, what am I at the moment? Then, as I am now, what would be the best version of me? What would that version of me now, what will it look like in 2 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time? What would it look like? If I'm a driver, for instance, I'm a driver, I drive. What would be the best version of me as a driver? Let's even use something like that. A chauffeur. That means from being a driver, I want to become the best drivers in the world. If I'm driving, let's say I'm just driving a Toyota now, I want to be talking maybe in some years, I want to be driving a limousine. I want to be, I want to even maybe upgrade from being a driver of cars to maybe to like a pilot, because you're still driving machines. Or you want to be a Formula One driver, somebody who's now racing for even greater glory, the best version of that thing. Think about it. What does it look like to you? And then look at, where am I now? What do I need to do to get there, to become that best version of myself? So just look at what you are. A student, you are maybe at the moment you are an A student, a B student, a C student. So that means a C student, you want to become a B student, and then an A student, and A student want to become A plus. Or A plus, you want to be among those who are getting scholarship to be in the best schools, in Ivy League schools. So that is how you pursue your goals. Pattern yourself, look after what you are going for, and then you stick to and stay committed to it. That means you want to be among the champions, among the intellectuals, among the premium candidates in your field. So that is, but meanwhile, a cautionary note is something that we all need to know. You cannot and we will not become the best at everything. It's not possible. So there's no need to now start because I want to become the best, I must be the best driver, I must be the best this, best that. You now start to dissipate energy. It's always good to focus or settle on your core. What is your core? What is your core? What is your calling? What is your primary or latent skills and talent? Where is your energy best served? Where is your life best served? So that you can aim to become the best in that. It cannot become the best at everything. Nobody is. Nobody has been and nobody will be the best at everything. So you cannot be the best at everything. So we should know what area really deserves our what? Our attention, our energy, our focus, our resources. So that you don't start to spread waste resources in different ventures, in different areas. It's very important. You will not be the best at everything. There will just be maybe like two, three calls. Most of them is usually one that you are the best in the world. And if you look at it, let's look at some people that we know to be the best in their field in the world. How many areas are they really the best? You say just one. But most of us, because no, we now start to dissipate. And once you've settled on what is your core, and we've treated some topics around calling and your core. You should go and check those on the Thrive TV on YouTube so that I can know what are my calls, what am I calling, so that you don't start to waste energy on what is not your call, what is not your calling. So you should aim to become the best in your core areas, in your areas of calling, where you have comparative advantages. Those are the areas you should focus on because you can't be best at everything, even though you should endeavor to be good, to be a premium candidate, a premium, a high yield, high quality person across the areas that you are servicing. So, how to become the best version of yourself? Let's start in the journey. Let's use an athlete for an example in discussing this. And it's worth repeating that you cannot be the best at everything. Let's look at athletes. Somebody like Lionel Messi, for instance, is regarded as the greatest footballer of all time. Which other area do we know Messi to be the greatest or the best? Oh, it's football. We don't know maybe if he's such a lousy husband, lousy, maybe he doesn't keep to time, doesn't keep appointment. But we know that as far as football is concerned, Messi is a great person. He's the best in the world right now. So that is how you know that okay, there are areas once you've settled on your core, it's not as if you should not be good, you should not actually try your best in other areas, but you have to just pack all your punches into one powerful area where you have chosen to establish yourself as the best. So, and it's better to settle early on where you are best served being the best. It's always better to settle that early in life. I want to be the best doctor around. And you know, even doctor is generic. You have to choose which aspect of medicine you want to focus on. Is it vet medicine? Is it gynecologist? Just mention the area. Is it ophthalmologist? Which area do you want to become the best? Which area you best served being the best around? Then back to using the athlete example. Once an athlete has, I mean, they usually have the talent, the skills. Oh, I can run. They now what? They now start to what? To train. They start to train. They start to And that is leading us to the next slide. So once you've settled on your core, starting the journey is to know what is your area, what is the area where your talent is best served. So once you've known, you've settled on this is where I want to be the best. I want to be the best writer, the best business person, the best husband, the best wife, the best student, the best this, this, that. Then looking at an athlete, you now start to train and improve yourself. Messi may be talented as a footballer with his or talented with his legs. If he wasn't trained by coaches and he didn't subject himself to constant training, he won't be as good as he is today. So there is a place of training. There's a place of training in being the best in the world, being the best in your area. There's a place of training, continuous training. Then discipline. Somebody says that discipline is the bridge between dreams and success, between desires and accomplishment. It's the bridge you have to cross from desiring something to accomplishing it. And when you now become personally disciplined, that helps you to know what to do, what not to do, what to eat, what not to eat, when to wake up, when not to wake up, when not to sleep. All those things, discipline now helps you to know what to do. It guards your life. It introduces some guards, some guardrails that will be able to guide you on what you should do and what you should not do, who to hang out with and who not to hang out with. Now, if you the previous slide we talked about starting the journey. The starting journey is to settle on what is your core, what is your area of strength where you are best served. Now, once you've focused on that, the next stage is now attaining mastery. Now we're talking about mastery now. And that starts with continuous improvement, training, self-development, education, reading, training, learning on your own. Don't wait for anybody to come and take, come and train you, come and teach you. You continue to invest in yourself. And then as you invest in yourself, you also start to apply disciplines. You know this area, this is the field you want to pursue. You know certain things that you need to do at the time you need to do them, when you need to do them, with who you need to do them, and who not to do them with. What you should eat that would help your body to be able to function well in this area. Then you align yourselves to those things, to those disciplines. Then another thing is self-assessment. You have to be able to watch your stats, your numbers, and compare yourself before and after. Before and after. Now, I've already settled on my core, on my calling, on my areas of expertise where I want to become the best version of myself. I want to become the best around. And I've now started to train, to learn, to discipline myself, to improve myself. Now, as I'm also applying disciplines I need to know, things I need to do, things I should not do, I'm also now talking in terms of how am I assessing myself? Before I started, how was I? What do I know about this subject, about this area, about this topic? Now that I've started, what have I known that is I didn't know before? You have to be able to access yourself before and after. Watch your stats. What was my weight before? What is my weight now? What was my scores before, my numbers before? What are my numbers now? That's how, because as you continue to do, to learn, to apply, you have to also be watching. When if I'm writing 2 articles in a week before, how many am I writing now that I know better that I'm trying to become the best? Am I writing 20? Am I writing 40? I'm closing a deal as a marketer. I'm closing maybe 1 million in a month before, and I start to learn more about marketing, about client servicing. What am I doing? What are my numbers in a month? Am I now doing 5 million, 10 million, 20 million? So those are the questions you ask. You have to be able to benchmark, assess yourself, watch your stats, watch your numbers. If it's time, also what are the time? I used to do this thing for 5 minutes before. Now I'm now using 2 minutes to accomplish it. You understand? I used to produce 20 before, now I'm producing 50. You have to be able to watch your stats, watch your numbers. That's how you are working towards self-mastery. Self-mastery, you are becoming a better version of yourself than the person that started and the way you were when you started that process. Then the third stage is the gold standard. Now, having mastered yourself, then you are now looking at the gold standard. Now, do you know that of all these things we are not looking at your neighbor, we are not looking at your brother, your sister, your uncle, your auntie, even your parents. You're looking at you, yourself. Now, in that area of yourself, of your life, there will be what we call gold standard. And gold standard refers to the highest benchmark of quality in any field. The highest benchmark of quality. So if we are saying football now, we are saying that Messi is the greatest of all time. Why do we say Messi is the greatest? How many goals has he scored in the World Cup? How many how many career goals does he have? So how many dribbles has he completed? Those are the quality we are talking in terms of benchmarking. So for me to be able to compare with Messi as a footballer, that means I must complete maybe 50 dribbles in a match. I must score maybe 2 goals or a goal every match. Those are you now start to benchmark yourself. Identify what is the goal standard. Who is the goal standard? Who is the standard bearer in that my area, in that my industry? That is the benchmark of excellence. That is the benchmark of quality. And then I start to benchmark myself against a person. Who is the record holder? Is the person alive or is dead? And then how do I measure up against the numbers, against the statistics, against the data? So we see that we started from settling on your course, on your calling, on your area. Then we move from there to what? To now mastering yourself. Now, when you've mastered yourself through discipline, through learning, through assessment, you now start to move externally. And you're not moving externally, you're not playing local, you're looking at the gold standard, the standard bearer in that field, in the world, or maybe you want to start with your country or your industry. And then you ask what are the things they do? For those who are the gold standard, what are the patterns? What do they do? You have to immerse yourself in research, in learning. You never stop learning to become the best. You have to always learn, 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 learn. You have to always research, know, read, study. So you know who is the gold bearer, who is the standard bearer, who is the gold standard. Study their patterns. What do they do? What time do they wake up? What time do they go to bed? How do they work? How do they live their lives? What are the disciplines they observe? So you have to start to now immerse yourself in their own standard, in their own, so that you can also be like them or even surpass the records. And records are meant to be made and broken. We've seen records. Oh, this record has been said like 50 years ago. Somebody will still break them at some point. So, but you have to be able to even be close to the record to be able to break it. So you start with yourself. What am I good at? What area do I want to be the best? What area do I want to thrive? Then from there to mastering myself. Mastering myself. Then having mastered myself, then I want to now start to attain the golden level. Work towards becoming the best in the field. And I know who are the best, who are the standard bearers, and I'm working like them and behaving like them and trying to achieve what they achieve. Then, as you also navigate this and successfully start to hit the numbers and the records, then to the final stage, you now start to become the standard yourself. That's when you can be talking of setting the record or beating the record or even setting a new record yourself. And for you to be able to become the standard, now you're now the gold standard. That means you need commitment, you need focus, you need patience. It's a patience game. You need perspectives. When things don't work the way you anticipated, how do you recalibrate and rechannel your energy, rechannel so that failure doesn't become the end. Because there will always be failure, there will always be discouragement. There is no great life, there is no great person who has not faced discouragement in life. Tell me who you know who is a great person today, a great individual who has not faced or contended with discouragements. No, everybody who is on the journey of destiny, who is going to become great, they faced challenges. But those that now emerge from those challenges using the right perspectives are the ones we celebrate and clap for today. Many people get distracted. They either become the challenge themselves, they start to fight when they shouldn't fight, they start to talk when they shouldn't talk, and they just fizzle out. So you need to have the right perspectives when life starts to throw its arrow, its bolts, its whatever at you. How do you handle it? What are the kind of perspectives you maintain? Then you also need a support system. Nobody can walk the path of success alone. You need like minded friends. Now, you don't need too many friends, you need like minded people around you. You need to have, if you are getting married, you need to marry somebody who is also thinking the way you are thinking, who is pursuing the same thing. Not that you want to go east, your spouse want to go west. You guys won't be able to agree. That will cause confusion. That will actually dissipate your energy as well. You must have the same mindset. You may not have the same taste, the same wants and this, but your mindset in terms of what are your ultimate goals in life must be the same. Otherwise, hey, that is a drainer on its own. That drains energy, drains resources, drains everything because the two of you are not operating on the same wavelength. Also, support system, friends who think now you can be friendly with everybody and be friends with few people who share your dreams, people who know what you are trying to achieve in life. Like the Bible said that iron sharpens iron. People who are like iron that they sharpen you, not people that they dull you. Some of us have friends who actually make us duller. And those are the people that we spend more time with. Whoever is not hiding to you, you are with somebody, the person is not challenging you intellectually, is not hiding to your knowledge, is not hiding to your wisdom, is not challenging you, bringing out the best. You don't have to be friends with them. You can be friendly with them and not have them in your cycle. Why? Because if you tolerate mediocrity in somebody, they end up watering your own level of quality as well. That's the way it works. I am a bit particular about the things that people say around me. I don't just take, you can't just say nonsense that doesn't make sense. I will quickly challenge it because I have known early in life that every mediocrity I permit from somebody else actually waters down my own quality. So somebody says something that doesn't make sense, that is erroneous, I quickly challenge it. I don't. That's why it can be very. You have to know what is your support. What are the people you have around in your life? What are they saying around you? People cannot just be saying spurious things, and because most of us don't think beyond the superficial level. Somebody says something, it sounds really poetic, and we next we hear even though some of those they are very stupid talks. But you have to have discipline your intellect to a level that you can actually decode the lines. You can read between the lines. So you need a very solid support system. That is one of your leverage to success. Who you hang around with. If you don't have, don't go and force yourself. I must have some. No, if you don't, they will come at some point in your life. You need to be able to maintain them. But don't rush because you must have a support system and start to just grab all manners of people into your network say because you want a support system. No. If somebody is not helping you to become better, it's just your acquaintances. They are not your friends. They can't help you. You don't need a crowd to succeed. If you go and check all these great people, the best, they don't usually have a large circle of people. in the immediate cycle. No, you don't need a crowd to succeed. You need just committed people who have the same mindset, who are also aiming for what you are aiming for. This because the higher you go, the lesser people are able to go. So that is the thing with success. The higher you go, the lesser your crowd become, the lesser your people you hang around with. In fact, some people will start to avoid you because they can't cope with your level of intellect, your level of success. They will start to avoid you altogether. So that is it. That's why it can be quite lonely up there. But when you have a solid support system, they're able to help you to succeed. You're able to help them to also succeed as well. So those are the ways we become a better version of ourselves. And I will just run through this again for the benefit of those that did not start with us. When we want to become the best version of ourselves, when you start the journey by identifying the core area where you want to become the best. You can't become the best at everything. It's not possible. Identify your core areas where you want to be the best, where you are best served. Then the next thing is what? Start what? To improve yourself. Start to invest in training, in knowledge, in education. Then start to enhance yourself through discipline. Start to build fortitude, mental fortitude, emotional fortitude, physical fortitude for the success you are trying to become, for the best you are trying to become. Know what to do, know what not to do, know what to eat, know what not to eat, know when to sleep, know how to manage time generally. And then as you are doing this, always watch your numbers. When you started, what were my numbers? When I've started doing this now, am I doing more? Am I spending less time? Always watch your numbers. Always watch your numbers. That's how you can now start to see you are working towards self mastery. And then when you've mastered yourself, you can now come be looking externally to who are the standard bearers in this area, who are the people who are the best in this area. How do I benchmark my own efforts, my own outputs against their numbers? What are the things they do to help them achieve these numbers? What do I need to do to also start to make this kind of numbers? We have to start to do this on my own. Immerse yourself in their lives, immerse yourself in their patterns, do what works for you, and never stop trying, never stop applying. And then when you've mastered the you now start to become the standard bearer yourself. And for you to become, you need to be committed, you need to focus, you need patience, you need to have the right perspectives to life, to success. Things will not always work your way. There will be days it will rain on your parade. There will be days that someone will just, like, things will happen that will want to discourage you. You cannot be discouraged. And it will be one time, it won't be 10 times, maybe 20, maybe 100 times. You just have to continue to stick to what you know that is the best thing for you to do. And then you need a support system that will help you to achieve success, that will not derail you, that will not, you don't need too many people, you don't need a crowd. And then, in terms of final thought, as we round up the session today, this statement was credited to Norman Vincent Peale, and it says that shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you will land among the stars. The moon is higher than the stars. So when you want to shoot, shoot for the moon, shoot for the ultimate. Set your goals high, set your targets high. So if you don't even get to meet that goal, that target, you will still fall among the stars. You will still have a good result that even most people can only just dream about. They can't achieve because they didn't put themselves to the kind of discipline that you are putting yourself to. They didn't do the kind of rigor that you are observing. And that is my final thought for today on becoming the best version of yourself. Now, if some of you, if you can look at this, I think I should just have you want to join our WhatsApp community. We have a WhatsApp community called Thrivers Community. Please use this short link to join that, https :// bit.ly/Thrivers. That will take you to the Thrivers community. https :// Thrivers. And then for the Facebook, we are also on Facebook. Some of my thoughts are shared every day on Facebook. And if you go to Facebook and you put /Thrive with Babs, it will take you to that Facebook page. Please like it so that you can get the daily quotes and inspiration messages that I share. Then on YouTube as well, there's Thrivers TV, and that you can get that by youtube.com/at Babatunde Oladele will take you to the Thrivers TV. Subscribe and go and listen to some of the previous sessions that we've already also talked about. And in terms of website, if you go to babatundeoladele.com, it will also take you to the website. Join, agree to receive the newsletter so you can get them every single day, Monday to Saturday. Just quotes, small quotes that will help you to challenge you for the day, help you to get the right perspective on life, help you to become the best in whatever you have chosen to do. So those are the channels where you can be part of the Thrive community. We are growing, so I mean, I will always look for more people to join us. So that is that. For that, we have questions. Next topic will be announced. The next date will be announced. Thanks for listening. We have, I will just go back to the, in case some of us need to have this. Questions, please. Questions, comments, disagreement. If you, I mean, don't agree to anything, please, let's discuss it. Questions. Questions, comments, disagreement, objection. I don't agree with what you said. Let's learn from you, please. I know something better that you didn't mention. Please, let's learn. It's a sharing session. Anyone? Okay. Oladele Shegun, please let's hear your question or your
Okay,
comment.
good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. My question is, although it's not a question, but I just want to know if how true the statement is. I saw a post concerning Elon Musk when he became the officially, like it was announced, the a first trillionaire in the
Mm-hmm.
whole world. So
Mm-hmm.
someone now said that um, a man's success is attributed to his geographical location. So
Mm-hmm.
as we all know that Elon Musk is like partly like I think from South Africa. So
Mm-hmm.
and he said that if he had stayed in Africa, he would not have attained that height. So I want to ask, like, is it true that geographical location also affects a man's success in life or a person's success in life? That's just my like a question.
Hmm. That's a very profound question. Does anybody want to share the view or answer the question for us, please? Anyone have any insight to share about that? Does your location boost your success or limit your success? Anybody want to share with us? Yeah, please. Somebody who's raising their hand now, please talk. Um,
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just want to share some thoughts concerning what is said about location being a
Mm-hmm.
determining factor in a person's success.
Yeah.
I think the statement is partly true, depending on your discipline, that is your
Mm-hmm.
area, what you deal with. Because if you are somebody that, for example, if you are somebody that deals in thriftwares, especially for youngsters, you can't
Mm-hmm.
possibly be staying at a remote area where there is no internet connection or where there are no youth around, especially if it's for the youth. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
move to an area whereby you have more youth, like maybe school area or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically, it is just like you need to be in an area that connects with your business, like your goals, for
Mm.
example. So I believe it is partly true that your area, your proximity will
Mm.
determine your level of success at times
Mm.
when it comes to some
Wow.
specific discipline. Not everything basically, but there are some specific things that you need to change your location in
Yeah.
order to get more people, to get more customers, to get more people that align with your goals.
Mm.
Especially if you look at the situation of things in Nigeria, most people want to move to Lagos State because they regard Lagos State as a land of opportunities where you can
Mm.
easily
Mm.
get a good paying job, and then
Mm.
you'll be able to connect with people that can give you a good connection to, you know, and connect you with people that are like more successful. So I
Mm.
believe proximity is an advantage when it comes to
Mm.
business. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you very much, Temitope, for that very, I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. Does anybody else have something to add to what Temitope have said, or you have a slightly different opinion they want to share with us? I can see even the chairman that asked the question gave you a thumbs up. Temitope, that yes, you hit the nail on the head. Anyone wants to share with us what their own perspective on this question? What do you think?
Yeah.
Anyone?
All right. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Babs Oladele, for this wonderful
Mm.
session. So to just quickly share my thoughts on that,
Mm-hmm.
just like in educational psychology, we
Mm.
often talk about the nature nurture
Yeah.
dimension of human development.
Mm.
Yeah, we all have our genetical makeup as human
Mm.
beings, and then we have all what I mean what we develop with, while the
Mm.
environment, which is the nurture part of it, the environment plays a vital role
Mm.
in what will become in the
Mm.
future and how we aspire as well. Let me
Mm.
quickly cite an example of one trending video. There was one video recently that went viral,
Mm.
showing some young children in a school. So they were asked, what would they like to become in the future? If you see the
Mm.
kind of examples they were, what they were
Mm.
saying, it
Mm.
reflected the kind of environment they were. And the last one was
Mm.
the funniest of it. He said he would like to be, to have these people that charge phone for others.
Jesus.
So that's what we like to become, just to charge where people can
Mm.
be charging their phones
Mm.
and that's what we like to become. You can imagine that as a profession, but
Mm.
that is what he was exposed to, and
Mm.
there's no way he can reason beyond what is around him, what is in his environment. So to a large extent, the environment plays a vital role, and
Mm.
you need someone to expose you to
Mm.
something beyond that environment. If not,
Mm.
there is no way you can't aspire beyond
Mm.
what you are aware of, beyond what you are exposed to,
Mm.
and
That's
that's
true.
where the environment comes in. And that's where
Mm.
maybe the issue of Elon Musk, the kind of environment where he grew up, the kind of
Mm.
things that were happening around him, also
Mm.
contributed to what he wanted to do. And when you see the way all his aspirations, you know that they are just out of this world. So because
Mm.
his mind has been so exposed, blown, and
Mm.
then you can think of what many of us here will not even, have thought of in the next 10, 20 years to come. He is already
Yeah,
thinking far ahead.
that's true.
And that's as a
Wow.
result
Thank
of
you very
exposure.
much,
So
Kamal,
that's
for that very brilliant addition to what Timotokwe has already shared with us. That's why I say this is such a, a learning session. All of us learn. Even I have learned so much from what you guys said. And that is it. Any other person willing to share with us based on what you know, or you want to engage the topic or engage the question uh, from your own perspective or from your own learning? Anyone, please, before I make my submission, I will close for the day. Anyone? Yeah, I mean, just like Tim Topper and Kamal have, I mean, rightly said, environment plays a very, very key part in our success in life. Um, it's just a very, very important factor, but it's not the all in all, right? And that is one thing I want us to go back home with today as we are leaving this place. We are all products of our environment, all of us. And hear that very sad uh, example that Kamal gave of children, because that's what they were exposed to. The highest aspiration for a particular child was to float a phone charging. I mean, that should even be in the first place. If there's power all over the country, should somebody now be using generator, which actually is spoil the phone, to turn to a commercial enterprise? And that is what a child wanted to aspire to in life. That's sad. So we are all products of our environment. It's very important. So that's why you have to get the right environment. Every seed does not go on every soil. So you have to get the right environment for your own kind of seed. What is the seed of greatness in you? What is the seed of your calling? What kind of seed does your talent, your skills speak to? What is the right environment for that? You don't have to travel abroad, really, to be able to succeed, to be able to flourish. And there are people in Nigeria, in Ghana, in any country who are actually world-class individuals, and they didn't have to relocate to become that, because where they are, their seed can flourish in that soil. But looking at Elon Musk, he had to leave South Africa. He became a naturalized American and is the world's #1 trillion. And let's even forget about the trillion. He's not the only South African that left South African soil to become a naturalized American, right? It's just one out of how many millions of people who have walked the same path. And it's not all of them that we know about today. So there's also that individual aspect, that personal factor that is also very key in success, in achievement, in accomplishment. Many people now in the age of Japa, everybody is Japa. You want to just to live, just to live. Many people are Japan and they are struggling, even in the. So it's not about just living. It's about living for a soil that would germinate your seed. It's not every soil that is meant for your seed. And all of us have our seed of greatness. So, but you have to find the right kind of soil that, and don't just say because the trend is just to live, and you want to just live. No, why are you living? You are living for what? You are living to where? So we have to do this thing in a very strategic way that is dynamic and related to us. What is my seed? What is my skill? Which country is this skill best served? And where environment is very key, it doesn't mean that you must leave your country. But if you have to leave your country, then that means you go to the country where your skill is best served, where your skill will be best developed, where it will be best exposed, where it will be best tailored to greatness, so that you can make you the best in the world. Just like I said, there are so many South Africans, so many Africans that have left the shores of Africa who are not anywhere near Elon Musk. So it's not just about living or being in another environment, it's about you personally. Because all these things, just like Kamal said, is thinking of things that most of us are not even thinking of, happening in the next 20 years. This is personal, whatever. So one thing is to be in the right environment. Another thing is to have the intellect. And that's why I said that learning must be a continuous thing. Improvement must be a continuous thing. Most of us, we just want to operate at the average level of life. Most of us don't like to read. They don't like to study. And that is where it starts. Elon Musk didn't become who he is today because he just settled for the average. He wanted to know more. He's asking more questions. The more you ask, the more you know. The more you know, the more you want to know. That's what makes a difference. That individual, I'm always a stickler for that personal factor in success. Environment is very good. You need a good environment, but you can be in the best environment and not even be productive and not be fruitful. Why? Because the mind is not developed to think of what can I do to contribute to the problems of my environment. Most of us think, what can I get? What can I get? That's what most people think about. What can I get? What can I earn? What can I make? Not what can I contribute? What can I give? What can I make happen for people? Make happen for where I am. That's the Elon Musk mindset that stood him out. It's what he's able to do, to give, to contribute. The impact he's able to make is not just about living, just not being in the right environment. It's actually doing the right thing in the environment where you are. Because if you are in the right environment and you don't plant your seed, you don't nurture the seed, just like you also mentioned, you don't nurture the seed, the seed will not grow, will not flourish, will not produce fruit. So I'm glad we have this very interesting discussion this afternoon, my time, evening, your time over there. Any other question, any other comment as we round up the session for today? Anyone willing to share with us your question, comment? Okay, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being part of this session tonight. I mean, it's been nice hearing from you, learning from all of you, and being part of this very, very interesting session. So till we meet again next month, I want to say have a fantastic and blessed month of July. From me to you. Bye.